Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Black Leather Couch. Today's guest is the Reverend D-Ray of D-Ray and the Shockers. They're a rockabilly surf kind of band that everybody knows up and down the East Coast from events like Elvis Fest and Cash Bash and Heavy Rebel, things like that. So they got a great sound. Everybody seems to like them. They got some great tunes and a couple good covers that they do that I love. And I've known D-Ray for over 10 years, I think. And he's been a good buddy for a long time. And wanted to get him on the couch. He's always got crazy stories, and he told me a couple of good ones for this episode. So sit back, have a watch, enjoy. Yep, I'm done. I'm out for the night. All right. Well, let's get started.
All right.
Thanks for... I can drink.
I was going to drink anyway. We might have to pause the interview. Call that boy. Tell him to bring another beer down here.
I always... well, thanks for coming, by the way.
No problem.
I always start off with the basics to kind of set the mood, set the tone. I was gonna dim the lights, but they're on a switch, not a timer.
We can get you a switch put in here. Piece of cake.
Well, I've rewired the whole damn thing.
Yeah, piece of cake.
Every outlet, every switch, all of it's redone. I can put those in.
Really? You picked those out and put those in?
Well, you should have seen them before.
Oh, I can imagine.
Well, that was leftovers from
gutting the rest of the
house. Yeah, like I've moved light fixtures all around this place and just gotten rid of the stuff from the 80s or the 70s.
Why?
Because some of it was
the shit lasts.
Some of it wasn't even cool in this. No, it doesn't. That's the problem. I take them down and all the wires are frayed inside.
Oh man!
I flip a switch and sparks come out.
Little fucking tape fix anything.
Little power, little electricity never hurt you. So, were you born? Where were you born?
I was born in Washington, North Carolina.
I said where were you born first, but I was finishing a thought. But yeah,
where you be born at?
Were you born or did you just appear?
I just appeared.
In Washington, North Carolina?
Washington, North Carolina.
Where is that?
It's about 40 miles southeast, I guess. It's on the Pamlico Sound. Not far from Greenville, North Carolina.
There you go, Greenville. There's a name I recognize.
East Carolina. Woo-woo! Go Pirates! Fuck yeah.
How old were you when you...
I was 11 and a half when I moved from Greenville, or from Washington, essentially, to Virginia Beach. I grew up with my grandparents in Virginia Beach until I was 15, and then I lived all over the whole Tidewater, Hampton Roads area. I've lived in Florida, I've lived in Texas, I lived in Alaska for a month and a half, not by choice. Lived in West Virginia for almost 2 years, again, not by choice.
Who lives in West Virginia by
choice? And I moved up here in 05. Yeah, it was 05. Right. But so I've been here about a little over 10 years, 10 years and a couple days.
Oh. Yeah, because I remember you guys early on were...
We were a Norfolk-based band.
Norfolk band, yeah.
Yeah.
So, what did your parents do? Were they...
My father was a motorcycle mechanic, and he owned one of the only motorcycle shops in Washington, North Carolina. He did work for several different motorcycle clubs and never joined any of them. And my mother was a waitress.
Well, you said you lived with your grandparents in
Norfolk. Once when my father was killed when I was 11 and a half, he was stabbed to death making a bank deposit.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I generally don't. That thing just went goofy.
No, that's fine.
Okay. I just generally don't, talk about too much about that. But
yeah.
My mom had a nervous breakdown and sent me to my grandparents to live.
After that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's understandable.
And I moved from the woods to the ocean front of Virginia Beach. I lived 6 blocks from the ocean front on 12th Street.
That had to have been
It was.
Were you a good old boy when you were down in North Carolina, or were you a...
Yeah. I was a redneck country kid.
That explains. Well, I guess that kind of explains the rockabilly surfer rock mix that you got going on.
Right, exactly. White trash from the jump.
There it is. We've pinpointed it. I had no idea. I thought it was just a kitschy.
No. I literally lived in a trailer in North Carolina on squatted land that my grandfather stole, essentially, or in the 1954,
nobody kicked him off of.
55, something like that. They couldn't. Squatters' rights.
Really?
Just like the people that live up on the Blue Ridge Parkway. A lot of that shit, that's not legal. They're not supposed to be there, but they squatted the land, so it's theirs now.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we corral all the Indians.
Exactly. You know, and that's another ill point with me. You know, that's about some bullshit.
Oh man.
Corralling all of us up.
So what? When you were in Norfolk, did you get into music then, or was it like something you always were into?
I was always into music. I really liked music growing up. I was really into it. I would sing along with the radio, and my mom working in a restaurant would always bring home, when they would change out all the music in the jukebox, I would get all the 45s.
Oh, sweet.
So I would listen to everything, and because we were in the country, there was a lot of country music. So I grew up with watching Hee Haw and Conway Twitty and Loretta Lynn and Jerry Lee Lewis.
Ironically, I was in Ohio and we still watched Hee Haw.
Yeah, everybody watched Hee Haw that's our age, you know. But we... you know, I was really into music. I was really into, when I was 9 years old, we got to go to Greenville and got to watch, we saw Conway Twitty, Loretta Lynn, and Jerry Lee Lewis in concert. And I remember that very vividly because 2 months later, at the same Coliseum, we got to see The King. And I mean, we were way back in fucking nosebleed seats, but it was still Elvis, Aaron, Presley right there, you know, and I was amazed. I was like, all these people are focusing on him. That's it, just him. Yeah. They could give two shits less about the band.
Yeah.
It's all about him, and hence this.
Yeah.
But I was amazed at that, and I was like, I want to be that guy. Yeah. I want to be him. I want to be him.
Everybody wanted to be him.
Everybody wanted to be Elvis.
Whether they like music or not, everybody wanted to be Elvis.
I mean, because, dude, he had it.
Yeah. Did you play any music, instruments or anything, or was
my father's younger brother, Wade, taught me how to play bass guitar.
Oh.
He gave me my very first bass at 10 years old, and I started learning how to play. And of course, after my father died, I'd lost a little bit of touch, but I would still see my Uncle Wade from time to time, and he would always push me to keep playing, keep playing. And I just kept playing. I drove my grandparents absolutely insane. My grandfather moved me all the way into the garage, which was down the breezeway away from the house, which most people don't know what a breezeway is.
Oh, I do.
But moved me all the way into the garage so I could practice there. Then my grandfather got the ingenious idea of buying me headphones. Woo, that'll shut him up. That'll keep his noise down. And I just I continued to play bass from then all the way, oh God, up until about 2000.
Yeah.
I played bass up until I had my accident, and then I couldn't play anymore. Well, it's 2002 when I had my accident, so yeah.
Is that with the hands and the...
Yeah, well no, that was actually when I got electrocuted.
Oh, okay.
And I lost all the feeling, like in this arm and my
controls. Yeah.
There you go. That's the word. I was gonna say something cool like ambidextrosity or something, but that's not really a word.
Making up a George Bush word.
Yeah.
Dexterosity. So is that when you decided to focus on singing aspect?
I did not. That was not my decision. I did not decide to be the lead singer of a band. I had sang backup in other bands and didn't have a problem with it because I wasn't the pivotal focus of what was going on. Because if I fucked up playing, nobody ever knew.
Yeah.
And if I fucked up singing, nobody ever knew.
Yeah.
It was at Heavy Rebel. My good friend Joey Rudisil, I almost forgot his name. My good friend Joey Rudisil and me, my current wife, well, my only wife, but my wife she was my girlfriend at the time, and his wife were all sitting on the back porch, I would guess to say.
The loading dock there?
Yeah, the loading dock. We were sitting on the loading dock, and he said, we could do this. And I'm like, no, I can't play anymore. I've tried to play. I can't. He's like, no. You need to be a front man. I was like, no, dude, I couldn't do that. And it was about 3 weeks later that we actually started.
Really?
We got together, and we put together, between me and Joey, we got 2 other ragtag ass players. One was just a bass player to fill in until we could find a real bass player.
Who was that?
Mike Rustad.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, if that was...
No. That we found that idiot later on. But it was this goofy fat guy that looked like Roy Orbison. Everybody called him White Mike. He was a big goofy racist white guy who played guitar, and Mike Rustad played bass. Joey played drums, and I sang, and we started writing songs, and we did a couple of covers, but we didn't really want to do a bunch of cover songs. We wanted to do all originals. And then through the process of elimination and people just being douchebags and me not being able to deal with them, we ended up with the original, what I consider the original setup of me, Catfish, Joey, and Skip. And that was what kind of launched us off into the...
Yeah, because that's...
I mean,
that was your lineup. That was the lineup when I met you.
Yeah, that was the line. That was the very first year we played Heavy Rebel. That was the lineup.
Okay. See, the way you guys played and the response that first time I saw you guys, I thought you guys had been doing it for years. Like, because everybody seemed to know you guys and everything. I wonder if that was just from having been around the scene, or was that?
They knew me from being around the scene. I went to Heavy Rebel. I went to the very first Heavy Rebel, and I've watched it grow, throughout the years. But yeah, I've done all kinds of goofy shit at Heavy Rebel. And I think it was the second year of Heavy Rebel. I laid in the street holding a Roman candle in my mouth and firing it off in the middle of the night. Yeah. The things you'll do when you're drunk.
Not some of your brightest moments.
No.
Physically bright.
Physically bright.
Not mentally bright.
Yes.
What did you have any obstacles after that, or was that?
Yeah, I moved to Richmond. I met my wife, and I ended up moving to Richmond. About 5 months after I moved to Richmond, Catfish moved to Richmond. So we would drive down from Richmond to Norfolk once a week for band practice.
Yeah, and I remember that too, because
that was brutal.
Because that's why I think that was why I couldn't figure out early on. I couldn't figure out why the lineup was the lineup. I didn't realize you had relocated here. I thought,
yeah, it was just me.
Yeah, I thought the whole band.
I was chasing tail, so I was all about moving back. See, my dogs lived in Richmond. Let's see, like 4, 5, 6 months before I ever moved to Richmond. My dogs moved up in like the tail end of October, and I didn't move here until March.
The tail end.
Yep.
Woo.
I swear to God, this is like a Rick James couch here. The more I look at it, the more I'm like, yeah, fuck your couch.
Well, don't.
No.
I
might, because there's a groove. Ooh, it's kind of smooth inside.
Yeah,
too.
I screwed it all together. So.
Any Vaseline? Anyway.
I do have to treat it to keep it supple.
I bet.
So, you talked about the King, you talked about seeing him live and everything. Was there a specific album or book or movie? Music obviously is the big thing, but was there anything else, like you saw some rockumentary or anything that made you like, yeah, you're right, I can do that? Or was it really just friends' encouragement?
It was just encouragement from other people, and always being... when I was in the 3rd grade, I think it was, maybe it was the 4th grade, I learned ventriloquism.
Okay.
I know it's going to sound really weird, but I sang in chorus because that's what you do when you're a kid. Well, I had a ventriloquist dummy, and for the Christmas pageant that year...
Ugh, I had to do one of those too.
They suck. But for the Christmas pageant, before my entire grade of chorus people came out, I had to get out there and sing Jingle Bells with my was it Willie Talk? I think was the name of the doll. Yeah.
Wait, but you said you did that already. Was that your shtick for that, or did they give that to you?
No, that was my thing. That was something I had learned how to do.
Oh, okay.
And I did that, and I was really terrified to do it, in front of all those people, because you've got judgmental rednecks looking at you like you're an idiot singing Jingle Bells with a doll. And
yeah, mine was pretty brutal too. I had to sing a solo line 2 octaves higher than my voice could physically go. And I never nailed it in practice, ever. Not one time. And I kept telling her, I can't sing that high. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. So, how to traumatize a child, send him out there and make him try and do it again.
Oh, I do that all the time. It shows. It shows.
Well, yeah, but...
we do songs that, especially if we're doing like somebody else's stuff, man, I know that I can't really hit those notes, and I never even try in practice.
Well, that was the thing. I was a little kid, though. I was like, 10 or 11, and she was like, you have to do it at this. I'm like, I can't do that. She made me try. I messed it up big time.
At least she didn't make you try to sing Nickelback or any kind of shit.
Oh, well, yeah. That was before Nickelback. The good old days. Before Nickelback existed.
Back before the Canadians invaded the music scene.
So was there a certain album or a movie or anything that did that?
No, it was just...
it was really just
It was an 8-track.
It was an 8-track.
It was an 8-track, actually. Elvis Gold and Silver, I think was the name of it, was an 8-track that I had that had, it had all the Elvis songs.
Like
and
the
I
number
would
ones.
sit there and just sing them over and over and over and over again, because 8-track will just continue to play as long as you leave it in.
Yeah.
And I just would. There's probably 5, 6 Elvis songs that I don't know by heart. Word for word, the whole way through, that I can't just, you put on the song and I know it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he had like
a ton.
Yeah, hundreds, right?
A ton, yeah.
Between the stuff he covered, the stuff he redid, his own.
The majority of none of Elvis's songs were his own. Elvis did not write music.
Well, I mean, but that were written for him specifically.
Yeah, Eddie Rabbitt did a lot of writing for Elvis.
Oh.
Yeah, Mr. I Love a Rainy Night.
Really?
Oh, I love a rainy night.
Well, I know who Eddie Rabbitt is, but I don't think I've ever heard Eddie Rabbitt and Elvis Presley in the same sentence together.
Probably never will. We try not to talk about that.
We don't talk about that. Well, this is something I didn't think about until I just realized what your performance setup was like. When did you become a Reverend? Like, how did that fit into the whole band thing? I mean, you had to have been before you came up with the idea.
When I was 17 years old, it was my grandmother's wish for me to go to seminary school to become a reverend.
A preacher.
So, in order to keep my grandparents happy, I continued along the lines of what they wanted me to do. So I went on, and I would go to seminary after regular school.
Oh, jeez.
So it was
at 17?
Yeah, you got
at prime party time of your life.
Right. When everybody else is out getting crazy and getting wild, I'm having to go to seminary school and then get out of seminary school and then catch up to everybody, and then start drinking. So it was rough.
First, you needed Jesus.
Right.
Was that Southern Baptist or something, or
Pentecostal?
Pentecostal. Oh, okay.
I mean, I am from a
North Carolina
Pentecostal, snake handling.
Yeah, that's right.
Speaking in tongues.
So it's not just a shtick.
It's
what you were brought up with.
I was brought up. I mean, there were rattlesnakes. There were rattlesnakes in our church.
Yeah.
I mean, our church was probably about half the size of your house. And he'd jam 90% of the people in the town in that church.
Jeez. Holy mackerel.
With poisonous snakes.
I probably should have...
Drinking strychnine.
Speaking
in tongues.
I should have led with that part then. That's crazy though. So
you've got editing software. You can make all
this is a straight shot. You run through the whole thing. So was that the initial thing? Was you're a reverend, or Did that?
No,
like,
that
hey,
came
we'll
up,
do a band, and then what's good?
That came up years. That came up years after once we actually started the band.
Oh, really?
We were trying to come up with a name, and it just we were sitting on White Mike's front porch, which is kind of ironic because Joey ended up buying a house 2 doors down from him, and then we both ended up hating him and his wife. That's a whole nother bucket of chicken there to talk about. But we were just sitting on the porch, and I mean we were going to be the Norview Kings because we all kind of hung out in Norview, and it was just and then that got brought up.
Is there one you liked as much as that?
No.
Or was it just?
I thought
as soon as it hit.
I thought Reverend D-Ray and the Shockers, and then when you throw that out there, and I was like, that's it. I said that's catchy. It's something people will remember.
Yeah.
I said and there's so many logo possibilities.
Oh yeah.
I said once you throw this up at a show and start singing to people about it, it's just whoa, Satan, be healed. But as soon as you start singing about it, man, people remember. And I mean that's one thing at shows. After the second line of that song, I will find the person who looks the most offended, and I will go right to them and start singing right to her. Nice. And I say her because it's always a her.
Yeah.
It's always a her because she's like, oh no, I'd never do that. When in her mind, she's like, oh God, please. Dirty bitches. Is this a PG rated show?
No,
okay,
you can say fuck or whatever.
Good.
There's a little disclaimer at the beginning. That probably explains why everybody took like I said. I saw you guys I guess that would be the first time you performed as D-Ray and the Shockers.
Now, did you see us on the main stage upstairs, or were we playing downstairs?
I think you were main stage.
Was that a Friday?
Yes.
Okay, that was the first year we played, and we played 2 times that year.
You played main stage.
We played the main stage Friday night because somebody else canceled. And I was like, dude, we can do this spot. We'll take this spot. We'll fill in. We'll play twice. We don't care. We'll, just pay us one time, and we'll do this because we can fill this room. I said, if you let us play that stage, that downstairs stage will be packed. You'll never get another person.
Yeah, because that's what I remember too. Because I think when I actually it was the next night you played the downstairs, right? No, was it the same night?
Sunday. We played the main
Sunday.
Stage
That's
Friday
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I ran into you like at the kettle place across the street.
Copper Kettle.
Copper Kettle.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's that guy. There was the dude that was on this. And said hi and shot the shit for a second. But then I was like, oh shit, you guys are playing again. And then we were down there for that one too. Yeah. So you just filled in for somebody, and that's how it blew up.
Yeah.
Right out of the gate.
We went out there, and
that's awesome.
We had it all figured out. I mean, that was only the second really major show that we'd played. We played Elvis Fest in January with almost the same lineup. We played, at that point, Catfish hadn't joined the band. We had a guy, what was his name? Dave. And Dave playing guitar, and he looked like a fat Dusty Rhodes with a pompadour. So he was a big fat ass. And I can say that because I'm a $1.50 fully dressed, soaking wet with $1 full of pennies in my pockets.
But I mean that means that everything you did from that on was basically cake because we were already selling the album then, right?
Yeah. We had a 5.
It was like a demo, right?
Yeah, we had a 5-song EP set up then.
White Knuckle, was that?
Yeah, that was White Knuckle Gear Driving Truck Driving Son of a Bitch.
You almost can't get it out anymore.
I know. It's been a long time. I've still got 2 copies of that sealed in plastic just because.
I've got one of them on a shelf somewhere.
Yeah.
Not sealed.
My mom's got one that's still sealed. She doesn't even know how to open a CD, much less play it.
She scratched the crap out of it. She tried playing it on the record player.
She put it on the record player and just.
This doesn't play at all. This sounds terrible.
You boys are terrible.
Good and terrible. Well, that's cool. So now you guys are. It's a different lineup. You've changed a couple people because I know
we've changed a lot of
everybody
people
now, right?
I've changed everybody in the band for good and for worse.
Yeah.
We've had The original lineup would have been still together had I not moved. I honestly believe that.
From Norfolk.
Had I not moved from Norfolk, me, Catfish, and Joey would have still been together.
Are Joey and Catfish are still in Norfolk, or back in Norfolk?
Yeah,
right?
Catfish is still in Norfolk, and Joey's still Virginia Beach, Norfolk.
Yeah.
He lives right on the line, so it's kind of hard to tell with him.
Yeah.
But
do you think you guys would still be that line?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And if I hadn't wanted to play so many shows way out of town, and Joey pretty much bowed out because Joey has a son, and he was really worried about missing all these formidable years of his boy growing up. Because I mean, Max is awesome. Yeah. Mighty Max is he's awesome. He's a great kid. But Joey didn't want to miss all those growing up years. Joey's being a good father.
Yeah,
which
priorities.
So many fucking people these days are not being good parents. I can't fault him for that.
No, absolutely. That's good. So, but
and it's hard when you get new drummers because you go, look, listen to the CD.
Yeah.
And take into consideration that the dude playing it only has one real leg.
Yeah.
And play as good as he does. And to this day, nobody has been able to do it. Nobody could fill anybody's shoes that played in this band before, except for our bass player, and that's because he really sucks. Not saying I don't like him, but I don't like him. He sucks. He's a complete douche nozzle. Anybody that knows him will agree.
Well, there you go. So, while you guys have toured around a little bit. Cash Bash, Elvis Fest, things like that.
Yeah,
the regulars.
Yeah, we've played Winston-Salem several times.
Is there one of those, or maybe even the first Heavy Rebel, that was your most favorite, proud performance type thing?
The best show we ever played was at the Empty Glass in Charleston, West Virginia.
Okay.
Why was that? Those people were not expecting us at all. I jumped up on a table in the bar.
So it was the best because of how you were received, or was it the best because of...
It was everything.
It was unexpected.
It was the way we played. It was the way we sounded. It was the way we were received. The shit that occurred during the show. I jumped up on a table, stood completely up, went through the ceiling, and then the table snapped. The leg broke off the table and fell, and I rolled backwards and stood right up and kept on going. We never missed a beat.
So
can't do that anymore now, mind you, because shit breaks when you do it too many times.
Yeah. So you played both. Was it one of those you walk in? We play both. We have both types of music, country and western.
Country and western, hardcore and regular core rock.
But they received well and didn't throw you out or anything.
Oh
like
no, no. They were like, "Oh, y'all need to come back." We're like, no, it's too fucking far. It's a long ass drive. And then the party afterwards just got really weird, and so and we're good friends with the band that we played with, or I was, because they were from West Virginia, and when I lived up there, I hung out with them all the time. But yeah, it was no.
Well, that's your favorite thing. That was your favorite place.
Yeah.
Do you
have a worse? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, we'll go that way too.
Absolutely.
We may as well yin and yang it and balance that out. So
we played with Gojira X.
Always starts with Gojira X. That's
JB's,
right, Crump. I said it.
JB's Beach Club in Charlotte, North Carolina. And they will all agree to this. This was the absolute worst fucking place any of us have ever played. We played to the couples and couples of people that actually were brave enough to go to this fucked up place. And this place had a little deck on the back of it that was about 3 foot from a fucking active railroad track.
Good Lord.
Midway through our set, a fucking freight train comes rolling down the track. Just shook the whole building. And we just kept playing. We're like, I don't even have to sing now. I can just blah, 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 in the mic because you can't hear anything anyway.
Holy shit.
We played maybe a dozen people. That was it.
How far was it to get there?
Charlotte.
Oh, geez.
It wasn't the good part of Charlotte. It wasn't a horrible part of Charlotte. It was down the road from Puckett's, but it wasn't.
Ouch.
It was terrible. The bar has since closed. And it was really the worst part about it, well, no, there's a lot of worst parts about it. The owner of the bar thought he could play harmonica and wanted to play with us,
Lord.
wanted to get up on the stage and play with us.
Oh, God.
So we're like, okay, we'll do Folsom. I'm like, do you know Folsom Prison Blues by Johnny Cash? Oh, yeah, I know the song. Okay.
Oh, Lord.
We're going to do that. I've never heard anybody fuck up a song so bad in my life.
God.
And once it was over, I was like, okay, just get the fuck off stage. Just go.
All in one place.
In one place.
Freight trains and
it gets even better. It gets even better. So we're packing out. I have my own microphone.
Yeah.
I don't like using house mics. I've been to shows. I've been to enough shows and I've seen enough bands. I don't want to use a house mic.
Yeah.
I saw the Cramps play at the Orange Peel in Asheville, North Carolina. I watched Lux take a fucking house mic and stick it down the front of his fucking pants.
No house mics.
I don't want to use a house mic. I want my own microphone because I know it hasn't had a dick on top of it.
Well, the one that's not yours anyway.
Right. And when we were setting up, we took the guy's mic, handed it to him. Handed it to the owner.
Yeah.
He took it and put it in the sound booth. And then when we were done, we're loading out, and I opened the door to the van, and 3 of the screws that were holding the top hinge off just dropped out of the fucking door. The van door dropped sideways. I'm trying to fix the van door, and this cocksucker comes outside and starts accusing me of stealing a fucking microphone from him.
Oh, jeez.
It was everything that Catfish and Joey could do to get my ass in the van because I was about to kill this motherfucker over the $25 that we made for driving, 300 and some fucking miles probably.
Jesus.
No idea how far.
For a microphone he had.
For a microphone that he was accusing us of stealing, that we had more shit in our fucking van than he had in the whole goddamn club.
Good God.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah, that's definitely opposite ends of the spectrum.
Absolutely.
Holy shit.
Absolutely.
All right, well, I typically close this out with my favorite part and my whole shtick for this. And I'm hoping you thought of something, because you've told a great story and then a shitty story.
Shitty story.
Now you need a dirty story. So
a dirty story.
What is the... And again, it doesn't have to be something that happened to you. It could be something you were a part of indirectly, or something that happened while you were at an event. It doesn't matter. It's really more of your favorite dirty story.
When I played with Dave and the Alley Cats back when I was living up in West Virginia, was playing bass for this band. We made good money. We made really good money at a show. And so we're like, hey, we can actually sleep in a hotel and not sleep in our fucking vehicles tonight. This will be awesome. Sleep in a bed in Akron, Ohio.
Don't knock Ohio, man.
I'm not. I'm just saying that's where it happened. So we get this hotel room in Akron, Ohio. We'd been in the hotel maybe 30 minutes. Dave Hughes, our guitar player, if you want to call him that,
air quotes,
he decided that he wanted to go find himself a hooker.
Oh Lord.
So he goes and picks up a hooker. I mean, tall, statuesque, big thigh. Not really like big, but like muscular thighs, muscular calves. Okay. Kind of like cause she was a runner of sorts.
Okay. Like a flojo.
Brings her back to the hotel room.
Oh Lord.
Well,
isn't that how that works? I don't know.
Me and Chuck.
Wait, did you guys all have one room?
Yeah, it was all of us in one room.
Okay, so you didn't all have your own.
It was four of us. It was four of us in one room.
That's a little awkward then.
So.
Hey guys, go get the
Me
pool.
and Chuck. No, he didn't even want to go get another. He didn't even want us to leave.
Oh Lord.
He was gonna fuck her, and I use that term very loosely.
But
he was gonna fuck her right there in front of us. So, me and Chuck are sitting at the table, trying to figure out how to roll a joint, because we were both so fucked up we couldn't do it. But we're doing that, and Alex, the rhythm guitar player, he comes out of the bathroom about the time this hooker has her skirt off, and this chick has the biggest cock I'd ever seen in my fucking life. I mean, it was like a baby's arm holding an apple.
Oh my God. That would explain the runner's legs and such.
Yeah, and we all just kind of froze in position.
Oh my God.
And didn't know what to say. And then
did you just go back to rolling?
And then she looks, yeah, we finally got the joint roll. And she looks at Dave and goes, "Well, you could fuck me in the ass if you want."
What was
but don't be upset if I start to jerk off.
What was... holy crap. What was...
Well, see, Dave was from Wales. So Dave had the whole the English accent.
Oh, God.
So it was... It turned brutal, and it turned bloody, and it turned nasty really quick.
What?
Just
getting her out of the room?
Yeah, it was just getting her out of the room.
Oh, my God.
And so that's all over and done with. This was about 4:30 in the morning. Well, about 5 o'clock in the morning, another half hour, we're up. We've done a couple lines. And there you go, "Yay, Mom, listen to all my drug use stories." We'd done a couple lines, and we're still rolling joints and smoking pot, and we start hearing this fucking banging. Bam, 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 bam.
On your door? Or
We peeked out the window, because it was the hotels that got the glass windows and then the door.
And then the door, yeah. Cause
we look, it's not our room, it's the room next door. And there's this bitch out there wailing on the fucking door. She's screaming, "You can't throw me out! You can't throw me out!" And we're like, "Looks like he already has." She's like, "You can't throw me out. I have nowhere to go. I have nowhere to go. What am I supposed to do?" And she goes on and on and on, and she's going like this for like 4 or 5 minutes.
Wait, but this wasn't the...
No, this wasn't our girl.
I thought this was the...
This was a whole other girl.
maybe she had the wrong room. Okay.
No, this was a whole other girl the same night, though. Wailing on... and she's fucking wailing on the door. And she's just pounding on the door. She's like, "And you can't throw me out. And where am I supposed to go? And I don't know what to do." And da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And she goes off and keeps going. And then at this point, we're up at the door.
Yeah.
Like listening. We're tempted to crack the door open just so we can get a better... "You can't throw me out. I got nowhere to go. And you didn't even lick my pussy." And that was it. We were all done. We were like, "Oh my fucking God. I'm done. I went and sat down on the floor and smoked that last
and
joint.
No one thought to open the door and let her in?
No. I liked having all my teeth at that point.
Well, oh yeah, I guess if dude was in the next room, kicking her out.
Yeah.
Oh jeez, that's. Oh, I think you've topped the charts with that one. Of course, if any of the people who were a part of that see it,
I don't give two fucks. Behold, the fucks I give.
Oh Jesus, that's crazy. All right, well, I appreciate you doing this, and until the next time I see you on stage.
Yeah, which will be... Who knows? We got a new drummer. We're trying to get up to speed and
get acclimated.
Yeah, it's like kind of putting a fish in a tank. You gotta let him get used to the water temperature first, but I think he'll be all right. Yeah. I mean, they all get eventually. My current lineup works really well because my guitar player is very talented. Frank is very talented. Frankie Vegas is very talented. My bass player Stogie is my wife's high school buddy's husband, and he's extremely talented bass player. Extreme. I mean, he's no Les Claypool, but then again, nobody is except Les Claypool. But yeah, it's never been about me. That's the whole thing. That's the one thing I always stress anytime. It's not about me. It's about the band. If it wasn't for those guys making the music, I would look like a complete idiot up there trying to do this on my own.
But ironically, as the front man, you get all the accolades.
But it's not. It's,
you're the one that has to have the rip-off pants and stuff.
right.
So
The tear-off pants, the getting out of the straight jacket, the, pulling the rabbits out of my hat. The dog ate the rabbits, so we're done with that trick.
Yeah, let's not do that again. Well, that's good. Well, everybody can keep an eye out for you and buy the albums and
Buy the albums, buy the CDs, go on YouTube, go on iTunes, go on like us on Facebook. Please like us on Facebook. Please.
It's a competition now. That's what it is.
It's gotten to a competition. We're trying to get we're already above these other people. We just want to hit 1,000 before they do. Or 1 million or
Bragging
whatever it
rights.
takes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just so I can go lay my dick on the bar and go, ha! See that?
Got there first.
Got there first.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
Yeah.